Hello, and welcome to the Noob Savage channel, where we take a deep dive into the psyche of all different types of players in the GTA realm. I am, of course, your host, the Fartjar 007, and these are my stories as people want to mess with the Fartjar and open his lid. And that is the introduction to today's video, is just a couple clips of when I'm just minding my own business, trying to do simple things. And that's when goobers decide to cross my path and end up mashed potatoes.
Leave me.
Gotcha! And typically these goobers that come up on you, like these two that I just showed you, as soon as you start plotting your revenge and you get them back one time and you're ready to get them again, they typically go ahead and do the awesome goobery thing. And that thing is they go ahead and run away from you. They run from the lobby knowing that what they did was probably a big mistake, and they don't want to face the consequences. Ha 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 ha. And then, of course, we have the Toreador goobers, who basically live in those things. Incidentally, after that fella blasted me and the other guy to potatoes, I ended up getting sniped by a guy named Argue. What a name. Am I right? So I go ahead and run back to the store and do the Malone Zone type setup. I go ahead and put a bounty on them, etc., etc. Of course, most of the time, if you have watched my videos long enough, you will notice that a lot of times people show up that I'm not even targeting. And that's how I end up in the 5 versus 1 type situations. And then we meet this special real special type of goober. He ends up bringing his mobile operations, or whichever one you can run in stealth mode when you're not driving. It's off the radar and fire rocket turret. I'm up on the roof trying to look out for Argue and the other goober, which I forgot his name. Oh yeah, Flying Goober. This dude's unloading rockets towards me on the roof. But he could not get me. At the moment I had no idea who was firing at me and what they were using. So I went ahead and went to the edge to see what it was. And that's when I found out it was the mobile operations vehicle. He ends up blasting me to potatoes, so I ended up trying to go after him off the radar on foot. And that's when another moron shows up and runs me over with his night shark and ends up getting a mashed potato on me. His name is Rhubarb. Incidentally, Rhubarb was trying to avoid me after that for a little while. But I'd wanted to deal with the goober that I'm going to call New York Times. He was the griefer in the mobile operation vehicle. He ends up staying in it for quite a while. He moved to another spot, and Rhubarb kept trying to go after him. I sat in my tank and just watched and did some investigating. After I got all the intel I wanted, I jumped out of RC tank. And that's when I realized that New York Times jumped into tank. He ends up potatoing me one time. But from this point forward, I was not going to let him get another potatoing on me as cheaply as he was doing it. I know I use those tactics as well, but I don't use them on somebody until they actually try to blast me, or run me over, or any of those other things that a lot of goobers choose to people minding their own business. I end up getting revenge fries on good old Rhubarb as he cruised down the road with another night shark. I think he was going to just cruise on by me, as if nothing had happened moments before, when he ran me over in his red night shark and blasted me to mashed potatoes. And of course, this is after the goober New York Times got me twice with his goobery tactics. Ha 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 ha. Let's see, the thing is about me that I will not run away from the cheap tactics, because I use them as well. But also, like I said before, I use them on people that go after me first. Of course, Rhubarb left pretty quickly, and unfortunately, I did end up having a casualty of war when I blasted an innocent player chasing the red night shark named Rhubarb. Incidentally, I ended up running back to the store because the goober New York Times is still in his RC tank. Like I said earlier, I am not going to let him have another blasting potato, especially the way he's playing. So I go ahead and send New York Times goober a message. I laughed at him and told him that he was trash. I was hoping it would be a competitive job and it would end up coming after me himself. But it ended up not working out that way. He jumps out of his tank and takes the easy way out, jumping into Ghost. So I went ahead and jumped into a CEO, and I went Ghost as well. And he pulls up on in a big old tanky tank. That's when I decide to go ahead and go on home and have me a drink and laugh at this goober. After I go home and have me a drink, I end up coming back out of my house, jumping into my RC tank and riding on over to where he was with his big old tanky. And I did a little recon. As you can see, his tank is right here, but he jumped back into his mobile operations vehicle. He's now back over by the store in the same spot he was when I first met him to begin with. He ends up doing the typical griefer poop bag thing. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the psyche of the many characters of the GTA Online realm. I also hope you had fun, because I know I did, and you'll have to look out for the next video. It's quite an extravaganza of Einstein moves. Have a good one. I'll see you on the next one.